Ladies and gentlemen, today do I have a big surprise for you. We're going to be making the best original glazed donut recipe in the world. You can't find it anywhere else. I've been making donuts for over 7 years. I can tell you it's not easy. Boy, is it delicious, buttery, soft, pillars of joy, fried to perfection, dipped in vanilla bean glaze. Oh, my mouth's watering thinking about it right now. Before we get stuck into the full recipe, we're actually going to go talk to some strangers on the street, give them a donut and see what they think of that on their first date. Sounds a bit crazy, but let's get stuck into it. We're going to do a dozen then of the original glaze. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, just like that. All you gotta do is leave it better than you found. Try those original glaze.
Should we pack it up? That easy?
Oh, it's already ready to go. We got that Krispy Kreme original glaze. So we're just going to try one here, you know, take a bite of that soft buttery fun. Quite crispy on the outside. Let's take a hit. Feels good. Wow. Not bad. What if your man here pulled out one of these on the first dates? What would you do? What would happen? Marriage. All right. Put that on her finger. Put that. Now, what if you're on a date? What if you're on a date with this guy and he brought out a box of these? Would you be disgusted or petrified or happy?
I'd be happy.
You'd be happy.
Yeah.
All right. If you want, take a donut. If you want, take them. They're all yours. All right. But if you're on a first date and a man pulled out a box of donuts, what would you do?
I mean, I take one.
You take just one. You're very polite.
Or the whole box.
I take the whole box. All right. It's yours.
Oh my God.
Take it. It's yours. No, you get it. Donut Daddy here. Today we're making the best original glazed donut recipe you can't find on Google, you can't find it on YouTube, but you can find it right here. So basically, let's go through what you need. So you need your benchtop mixer. This is the most important thing. Make sure you have a dough hook, not a paddle attachment. So dough hook, benchtop mixer. You can use a KitchenAid. You can use something similar to that. Just make sure it's a powerful machine because this dough is tough. All right, so you need scales, obviously. Now we're going to go through our ingredients here. So we've got our lock flour. This is a Wallaby, a strong bread flour. You can get that from your supermarket. So just make sure it's the strong bread flour, baker's flour it's also called. Caster sugar, so this is a fine sugar that we're going to use. So we're going to use 60 grams of that. Natural sea salt. So this is just table salt basically. You can use sea salt, iodized salt, it doesn't really matter. We're going to use 8 grams of that. Instant dried yeast. So with our instant dried yeast, just make sure that you're using, it's a powdered form and it's called instant dried yeast. There's a few different types out there, just make sure you get this. It doesn't have to be this brand, just make sure you get instant dried yeast. It's a powdered form. So we're going to use 4 teaspoons of that. And I'll mix it now. We're just going to combine that a little bit. Just combine that a little bit, and we're going to add our water really slowly. We're going to add our water. Just your run of the mill, you know, tap water. Filtered water is better, but so we're just going to add that water. So we just started mixing that on slow. We're just combining all the ingredients. We want it to start to coagulate together. So our dough's been mixing for about a minute and it's come together. It's coagulated nicely. It's not as lumpy anymore. So we're going to grab our butter. Make sure your butter is at room temperature. So you should have taken it out hours ago. And we're going to put that right in the dough, and then we're going to continue mixing that butter on slow. Okay, so we want that to be nice and combined. So once the butter's in the dough and it's nice and combined, just give it a feel. It's going to be pretty sticky, and then you can keep mixing the benchtop mixer on high speed because now everything's combined. It's not going to go flying everywhere. So let's get that thing on full speed and let's get this dough moving. And we're probably going to keep it in there for another 5, 6, 7 minutes. And we're gonna get out our thermometer and temperature check it to make sure it doesn't go over 30 degrees. My dough only got up to 27 degrees and that was perfect for this one. So what we're doing now is we're doing a window test. When you window test the dough, you wanna stretch it out to see how far it pulls without breaking. This is a really good determiner of when your dough will be ready. But not just that, the temperature check is also essential. You don't want to go over 30 degrees, it will kill your yeast, your dough will come out over-brewed, it will rise really fast, it will be crusty when you fry it, you don't want that. So just make sure your dough's not above 30, mine was only at like 26 or 27 degrees. Now we're going to butter our bowl, so make sure you get that smooth butter and butter it up. Put your dough baby in there, cover that sucker up with some Glad wrap, and then we're going to put that in a warm place for about 20 to 30 minutes or until your dough baby's doubled in size. Alright guys, so while the dough's rising, we're going to actually make the original vanilla bean glaze. Alright, so let's get stuck into it. So make sure you use the paddle attachment for your benchtop mixer. That it looks like this. And so it looks like that, the paddle attachment. So make sure you use that for this. And so we're gonna measure out our water. Make sure you use hot water, okay? So we're gonna add in some water just to the bottom of the bowl. So half our water, which is 50 grams or 50 mils. So we're gonna put that at the bottom of the bowl. With some hot water. And then we're gonna measure out our soft icing mixture, which is soft icing sugar. So it's a fine, very fine powdered sugar. So we're gonna use 700 grams of fine sugar. Mix that on slow. So now we've got all the sugar in there. Now we're going to add the rest of our water. So another 50 ml or 50 grams of hot water. Scrape down the sides. Now for this we're using real vanilla bean pods. Make sure you get the type that's actually sealed like really well and they're not dried out, because if they're dried out, when you try and open them they're just going to crack, and that's not really very good. So these real vanilla bean pods are going to make a massive difference in flavor. You're going to really like this. So you take your bean, you get a sharp knife, you split it right down the center, and you're going to scrape, you're going to spread it open like you want it, and then you're going to scrape out the insides, the creamy center. Get all those little pods, and you can chuck it straight in there. That on medium until those delicious vanilla bean pods are combined with our glaze. It should look real sticky and quite delicious like this. You should be able to see those real vanilla bean pods. Look at all those little vanilla beans in there. That is looking good. Alright, so now our dough has doubled in size. It's been about 30 minutes at 22 degrees Celsius. We're gonna punch that sucker down, degas that blob. We're gonna flour our surface generously. We don't want it sticking to the surface. So make sure you use lots of flour. It doesn't matter what type of flour. So manhandle that dough. Use your hands, slap it down. Get your rolling pin, roll out your dough. We want it about 2 centimeters in thickness. Cut each donut using a donut cutter and make sure the dough is as even as possible while you're cutting your donuts. Tap down the dough, spank the dough to get it nice and even, to make sure those donuts are nice and uniform. Coat your tray with oil. You can use spray oil, you can use butter, it doesn't really matter. Just make sure you coat it really nicely. You don't want this sticking. Keep the distance between each donut So they're gonna rise again, so make sure there's a little bit of distance between each donut. We're gonna leave these for another 45 minutes at 30 degrees Celsius for the final rise. Now your donuts should look like this, a bit fluffy, almost doubled in size. You push your finger in, they should. Get your oil ready, nice and hot. So I'm using extra virgin. Who doesn't like an extra virgin? So fill up your pot. I just got a small pot here. Fill it up with your oil, turn it on high heat. We're gonna get this oil to about 170 degrees. It's sitting between 170 to 175 is good for these donuts. So we'll get that oil nice and hot. Now I'm using olive oil because it's really clean oil, it's really nice, it tastes really delicious with the donuts. Alright guys, we've got our olive oil nice and hot. We've got it about 160 to 170 degrees. And so what we're going to do is, we're going to go ahead and fry them. We're going to fry a few at a time. So we're going to fry, you can probably put in here about 3 at a time. Just be super careful. You don't want to burn yourself. Just drop them in there like that. Boom. Alright, so they're frying up now really nicely. And we're going to go ahead and flip those in a minute. So get your timer for 1 minute. And then we're going to check that out again. And then we're going to flip them after 1 minute. So let's just get them frying. Now I'm just using these chopsticks to flip them with, so that's probably the best. If you've got wooden chopsticks, make sure you don't use any plastic ones, and you just want to make sure you're really far away from it because you really don't want to burn yourself. So. So I'm going to scoop them out using this metal ladle. I suggest you get something like this because although you can grab them out with the chopsticks, it can be quite difficult. So get those out, just make sure you drain off all the oil. Put that on the tray. So just drain off all that oil. Now you're going to let that cool for 1 minute and we're going to glaze that straight after 1 minute. You've got to glaze them when they're hot. It gets the glaze to set and makes it really crispy on the outside. So we've got our glaze here. Just stir it if it forms a skin on top. So we've got our glaze there. I'm just going to go ahead and dip those while they're hot. Just like that. One at a time. That's those vanilla beans in that icing, really nice. So make sure you dip it while they're hot. Now these look absolutely phenomenal. I'm gonna have to do the official Donut Daddy taste test on these to make sure that they are the real deal. Crispy on the outside, soft on the center. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen, let's give that a taste. Oh. Unbelievable. You can taste that real vanilla bean in there. It is magnificent. Look at that. Soft, buttery, crispy on the outside. Super easy to make. You can make this vegan, you can make it non-vegan. Get this, ladies and gentlemen. Buttery flavor.
Buttery flavor.
I know I'm not gonna finish at one of these. I'm gonna need to have a few. So, be careful when you make this one. Thanks so much guys for watching that video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it helped you out so you can make some donuts for your friends, your family, your loved ones, your enemies, whatever you like. If there's any other recipes you want me to make sure you comment below and let me know about that. Or if there's anything you guys want to see, let me know. Also, if you want to support me, just check out my businesses, Levain Donuts or Jam Dessert Bar. And I really hope you have a great day.